Hey guys, Lloyd Bergenstein here again with another of my solo pub tutorials. Part of the awesome response I got for my situational awareness video was a lot of requests to do some new solo pub tutorials, and one of those requests was to do a video on SMG infiltrators. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Kinda like the last shotgun video that I put out, I don't actually play a lot of SMG Infiltrator, but I do really enjoy SMGs, so I've been looking forward to doing this video. So today what we're going to look at is how to play the SMG Infiltrator as a solo class and what you can do to build up those kill streaks. To begin, I'm going to be using an Armistice with the forward grip, an extended magazine, and soft point ammunition. The reason that I choose that stuff is the Armistice has a very fast TTK, and even though I don't like TR SMGs compared to Vanu and NC SMGs, it's still very good. I use the soft point because they've changed it so now it extends the range at which I do max damage and doesn't slow my bullets down, and for an SMG, which is a close range weapon, I really enjoy it. Now what you're seeing me do here is toss out a lot of radar darts. Radar darts are one of the things that makes the Infiltrator a really effective class in any situation, and is a big part of the reason that we actually run them in our ops when we're doing 48 versus 48 stuff. I'm going to try and get radar out almost all the time so that I can see what's in front of me. Every time I have radar out, it's impossible for them to get behind me as long as I'm checking my map as often as possible. Now I've set myself up in a similar angle to how I like to set up other classes. When it comes down to a firefight, the Infiltrator is no different. I need to be at an angle where I'm going to get lots of hits on them and I'm not opening myself up to kills. But as an Infiltrator, I have the ability to move and flank a lot more freely than I do on another class, which is exactly what I do here. I take an angle where I don't think they'll expect to see me, I go invisible to move, and I sneak up behind someone, open up on his back, and pick up a free and easy kill. He turns around, but I've already opened on him, I've already done a lot of damage, and he doesn't even have time to react. There's a sequence of events that I like to follow when I'm playing Infiltrator. First, I pop out and take the shots, then I fall back, go invisible, and reload. Keep in mind, you can reload when you're invisible. It's much harder to discover you, and it gives you a lot more safety during that reload process, so definitely do it. After I've reloaded, I turn back to a visible state, I go out, I shoot a few more people, and then I back off. If I've done this a few times, I make sure I keep my radar darts up so that my situational awareness can tell me where people are, and then I start the whole process back over again. I pop out, I try and get some kills, I pop back in invisible, and I reload. The kills are starting to slow down a bit here, so I'm going to move out in just a moment. When you're moving as an Infiltrator, it's very important to keep in mind that you have a limited amount of invisibility. I want to make sure that when I enter the dangerous area, I have my max energy for invisibility so I can get to the place that I want to get. So when I'm moving in a safe zone, like behind the shield, I'm not going to use my invisibility. Once I make a move where I feel I can be shot, I go invisible, and when I move back to a spot where I may have to engage someone and shoot, I turn myself visible again. It's very important that you balance your states of visible and invisible so that when you're moving and you have no chance to return fire, you're invisible and they can't see you, but when you might need to shoot, like when I turn this corner, I go back into my visible state. Now you just saw something that some of you might consider fairly odd. I actually play med packs on my Infiltrator when I'm playing solo. Claymores really aren't as good as bouncing betties or proximity mines, but that doesn't really matter too much to me because I use med packs on all three of my Infiltrator factions. The reason I do that is because when I'm playing solo, I like to be able to push aggressively, get those kills, and then reset the fight. After I use that med pack, I can engage at 100% strength in another fight and feel very confident. Whereas if I'm using proximity mines, I'm not going to be able to do that. Now you see, as I move on this Infiltrator, every time I round a corner, I'm shooting those darts to make sure it's a clean corner. If nothing pops up after I shoot that dart, I know I can round the corner. If something pops up when I round the corner, I'm going to be able to get the drop. That fight in the amp station is dead, so we're going to move out to a new base on the Infiltrator. In a lot of my videos, you see me doing mosquito drops with the light assault. In this video, you're actually going to see another one of my favorite things to do when I'm playing Infiltrator, and that's mossy drop as an Infiltrator. You have to make sure that you have ejection seat on your mosquito, which is actually a great upgrade anyways, especially for you non-career pilots. And you can fly in and you can drop anywhere you want on a base. I like to do this specifically as an Infiltrator because I can drop, immediately go invisible, and land someplace where they don't expect me. Something else you should also keep in mind when you're doing these mosquito drops, even if you're not a great dogfighter, take the open shots on vehicles that you see. You've seen in the last few videos, oftentimes you'll see a smoking lib like this, and just by putting bullets on him, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to end up picking up the kills. I get the kill on this Liberator, and that's 2 free kills for my rotary, and the extra 1,000 points for destroying a Liberator. Once I get that, I move right back into my infantry set, I go over to this tower, and I drop and immediately go invisible. I like to land on the corner of those jump pads because it gives me a good angle to drop down still invisible. I round this corner and I'm going to start looking for people who don't expect me to be up here. I see one guy, I pick up the back rage. I see 2 more, I pick up the one that I know I can get the kill on. Unfortunately, the other one gets away. And after every kill, I'm going back to my invisible state and I'm moving to a new angle where I don't think they're going to see me. I try to get my radar darts out, I bait this guy around the corner, and then I pick him off as well. It's very important when you're playing Infiltrator that you're using this invisibility and your radar darts to give you the advantage that you don't have by default as an Infiltrator. By keeping these radar darts out, I can see where people are, although it is a little bit cluttered on this tower, and then I move around picking people off when they don't expect me. I see another guy who doesn't get a shot off on me, I kill him, I catch someone else in a reload. When I'm out of ammo, I switch to that Commissioner, which is great on an Infiltrator, and here I make a little bit of a mistake. I go invisible so that the guy may not see me, he may lose a couple shots on me. I jump off, but I don't go visible in time, so when I try to pull out my med pack and heal myself, I end up dying. So we're off that tower, and we're going to move to TI Alloys now, which is the 3rd base that I'm going to be attacking here as an Infiltrator. The first thing to notice on TI Alloys is how I'm moving using stealth and visibility. Anytime I'm in a safe spot, I'm going to be visible so that I get my energy back. Anytime I'm in a dangerous location where I can be shot, I'm going to go stealth so that I can't be seen and shot at. I keep doing that and keep doing that until I get to the position where I want to be. Once I'm inside this building, which most people defending TI Alloys are going to want to take, I'm going to start playing this like I play most of my other classes. I camp a corner, but instead of just camping that corner, I'm going to have radar out. So I know if I'm being back raged, I know if people are coming through, I can get that pre-fire on them, and I can have this big advantage in every fight that I get. I let somebody else camp that door, I'm going to let him take those bullets, and I'm going to try and pick up the kills. Now, no one's coming in, but because I'm playing Infiltrator, I'm going to be very passive. I'm going to let them come to me so that I can really rack up this kill-death ratio. As you can see, I'm being very free with these radar darts. I'm keeping them up all the time. They don't cost you infantry resources, you can resupply them from an ammo pack, and they give you this huge advantage because you know every time someone's coming through that door or if someone's trying to get behind you. Really, I should get pre-fire on everybody as they come through. That's not always how it works because this is a very hectic game, but when you get really good at playing the Infiltrator class, in about 90% of your fights, you're going to have this huge advantage over the other player. If this was competition, we were doing an MLG match, I'd probably stay inside this building the whole time. But I'm getting a little bored, so I push out, I end up losing my shields, and then I go 1 for 1 in this firefight. I get zombie killed, but I've got a medic there who gets me back up. So in the end, I'm +1, and it's all okay. I move back into this building because they're starting to really push through, and I pick up a couple kills on people coming through this door. Remember, it's important to play angles on every class, but especially as the Infiltrator, where you've got the choice of where you're going to set up, and those radar darts to know where people are coming from. Playing the correct angle is even more important. Now on this kill, I probably should have backed off, but I saw Frack Wizard looking the opposite direction. I didn't think he was aiming at me, so I decided to stand my ground and just pick up that kill. Little bit of a graphical error there, but that happens sometimes in Planetside. I push back out to this box because I'm getting a lot of kills, and I like the angle. Even though technically it's not a good competitive angle, when you're doing solo pubs like this, sometimes you just want to go frag. Keep in mind, however, even when you're just having fun killing stuff, keep those radar darts up. I push an angle, I think, okay, my radar dart might be down by now, so I'm going to go back and get a new one up. Even if my timing's a little bit off, anytime there's a dead spot, it's important to reset that timer on your radar darts. I decide to go out and check if anyone's behind me. I'm an Infiltrator, so I've got a little more freedom to move than if I was on, say, a medic or a heavy. I check, and there's nothing there, so I'm going to go right back to the spot where I've been having success. Once I see a door camped by 3 or 4 TR like that, or any faction, depending on what you're playing, I tend to not enjoy it. Team damage is very, very common in this game when you're pubbing, so I try to stay away from other people. This corner is still very hot, so I'm just going to continue to camp this. TI Alloys is about to be recapped by the Vanu in about 10 seconds, so I have a couple options here. I can stick around, try and pick up a few more frags if we get overrun, which is a very viable option, and normally what I try and do. I could also redeploy and save my KDR. Instead, I'm having a lot of fun on this Infiltrator, so I decide I'm going to do what Infiltrators do best and just sneak and wreak some havoc. I pop behind these guys using my stealth. I pick them off with my SMG and my commissioner. I try to escape, but I don't make it. Realistically, if I was going to get out of there, I should have grabbed my med pack instead of going invisible. But I had a lot of fun with that little kill. And really, guys, that's what solo pubbing is all about. That's going to do it for this solo pub tutorial on the Infiltrator with an SMG. The things you really want to take away from this video are when you're moving as an Infiltrator, be very mindful of whether you're using your invisibility or not. If there's no chance of you getting shot, don't have your invisibility on. Save that energy. If there is a chance you might be getting shot or you want to get to somewhere without everybody knowing where you're going, pop that invisibility on and move to a position where you're going to be able to get there without expending all of your energy. The other thing to keep in mind with the Infiltrator is play it like a normal class sometimes and keep those radar darts up. You have this major advantage where you know exactly where people are and they don't know where you are. That gives you a chance to get a few bullets off, and in a game with the TTK as low as Planetside 2, that's a huge advantage that can help you win any firefight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, if you haven't played Planetside before, definitely use my recruiter code. It's going to get you a welcome max as well as help me get my max Luma Fiber, which I'm currently trying to get. And if you have any questions, feel free, add me on Twitter at Zoidbergenstein, tweet me on there, add me in game where it's Zoidbergenstein, ask me questions there, or just ask those questions down in the YouTube comments, and I will do my very best to get them all answered. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in my next solo pub tutorial.